Yep. What is this? Tuesday morning. Tuesday. Name for the god Tootin. Not to be confused with Threeden or Forden. What's going on? Not much here. Or a lot of here. Yeah. What's going on? Do. Do. Yep. Who we got here? We got Bum Crack Picker. Good morning, Bum Crack. Sorry, I got up. Kind of late for me, 6:30 or something like that. I'm usually up around 5. So if I sound kind of woogly, I'm a slow waker upper. I know people that can just jump out of bed and bam, they're gone. They're on their way. I used to be a little more like that. After I had a cup of coffee in my shower, man, I was ready for the day. Now, it takes me about 3 cups of coffee and check the email and check my bank account and check the markets and yawn and feed the dogs. It takes longer and longer and longer. I know, Craig, I'm exactly like that this morning. Is it morning again already? And I woke up kind of late for me, 6:30. And when I got up, I thought, well, it's 6:30, I'm going to go ahead and get up, but I really probably could have slept some more, which is unusual for me because I can, yeah, I don't know what the deal was. I went to bed about 10:30, got up at 6:30. That's enough. Was that 8 hours? I usually don't sleep but like 6 or 7. Sleep is the cousin of death. Hi, 24K. Hi, Lag. You woke up running? Well, bless your little heart. Checking the market should wake you up these days. Yeah. Markets are... 2023 was horrible. I lost money in 2023 on the stock market. Ugh. And I can't show a loss yet because I haven't cashed any out that, well, I cashed out, but never mind. It's a long story. You don't want to hear about my woes. We're only 10 days into 2023. Anyone who doesn't pay rent is a morning prayer. How do you figure that? Yeah, we got time to make it all back somehow. Do. mean? Anyone who doesn't pay rent is a morning person. I don't get that. Back when I did pay rent, yeah, I was a morning person just as much as I am now. Here we go. We got somebody with upbeat morning going. Having yummy coffee and 40 degrees. Step outside, the brisk air will kind of wake you up. Take till April 15 to get a loss. It's true. Oh, it's hard to sleep when you have a mortgage over your head. Yeah. I haven't had a mortgage now for, I don't know, 15 years. I never had a big mortgage. Always, whenever I bought a house, I always put down a lot of, like, probably average 40, 50% down payment, and then always paid my mortgages off early. Your mom used to charge you rent, so you bought her house. Uh, it's hard to sleep when you struggle to pay bills. Um, what's everybody doing today? I have a major task. It's major for me. It's not hard, but it's hard on an old man body. I don't work well. You know, you get down on your hands and knees to work down low, and it's hard now. And my job is to put in a garbage disposal. I don't know why those things go out so fast. Hang on, I'll be right back. 10 more mortgage payments. 16 years early. And then you can get a second mortgage. Number 2. Today you're waiting for a spoiled 21-year-old to come take a look at 2 watches. Yeah, but if they're spoiled enough, they've got cash to spend with you. So what are you grabbing at? Uh, Nice. Thailand. Never been. Gotta go sometime. It seems like every fairly wealthy person that has gotten old and died here, and then they have their estate sale, and nearly every one of them have trinkets and memorabilia from their trips to Thailand. Are you getting old, 24K? Is Thailand a good place for old folks to go vacation? I've never been either. Never wanted to go, but it's the new Amsterdam now. This time next year, drawing Social Security and pension. Yeah, they legalized recreation with the weather and I mean it's lady boys in Thailand. It's a it must be a vacation destination for a very long time because these estate sales I go to that have old people that went. It must have been a fun place to go back in the day. Sorry about that. Did you miss me? I need a co-host. Co-host a nation. Co-hostinator. I'll put a link in the side chat. No, I got up once to see if Gwen was ready for her morning hug and kiss. And then she had gone into her mom's room and was talking to her mom. So I came back, and then I heard her in the kitchen, so I got up again and finally got my hug and kiss. You don't have a camera or a mic. Well, your computer doesn't have a camera on it or a mic. They're not real expensive. I've been using this cheap old piece of crap. I don't know if you can see it. Probably not. Anyway. I tried. I just got a cheap old Logitech camera. Yeah. Dun, dun. That's alright. You know, if you're not going to really work at doing YouTube, making videos and doing live stuff, then you're not going to make any money at it anyway. So if you just enjoy going on and watching other people and listening to others. What the hell? Sorry. Okay. I'll get there eventually. Here we go. All right, we're going to have a great discussion now.
I was kind of scared, so I first tuned in just a second ago, and the first thing I read is, "I charge women for sex."
Hey, but $19.99. That's an offer now.
I'm like, what conversation have I just tripped into?
That's kind of 24K's going rate.
And then James is talking about the best hookers are in Thailand. I'm like, well, it wasn't an accident they were talking about this.
We were just talking about retirement and how a lot of American men end up retiring in Thailand. Do you know why?
I guess because cheap hookers. The old "me love you long time."
$10.
$10 make you holla. Yeah, I just was commenting that, well, 24K said he was going to take a vacation to Thailand, and then I was
I've been wanting to go to Thailand just over the last 2 years. Ever since Sri Lanka, basically their economy got destroyed, and I fell in love with it. Thailand just came on the scene because they've just announced recently in the last 4 or 5 months that they've legalized it and stuff. So I was just thinking, go there instead of Amsterdam. It's 90% cheaper. The weather is 100 times better. And you're sitting in front of a beach instead of, in the middle of Dam Square with all the cold.
So, and then I swear to God, every estate sale I go to that was a fairly wealthy person in their life has memorabilia and trinkets from their vacations to Thailand. Jewelry and statues and I don't know.
Oh yeah, there's some areas in Thailand where you don't see Thai people. You see a lot of Americans, Brits, and Germans.
Monkey pod.
There's huge communities
and stuff. Your aunt is Thai. I guess it's a good place to find a wife if you're in the market for a wife.
Actually, the exciting thing is trying to get over to Vietnam. Vietnam is beautiful, and that's something I've always wanted to see.
Yeah, a couple of YouTubers I watched have been to Vietnam lately, and it does look like they take motorcycle tours from top to bottom.
Yeah, it's gorgeous, man. The motorcycle tours are amazingly gorgeous. If you go even look at their tunnels, and the whole mastery of how they were able to build those, it's crazy. And having grown up in America and watching all those Vietnam, movies and things like that, it's amazing to relive history in a way, in a sense. But it's a beautiful country. And it's still a little bit raw. It's not like Thailand where it's heavily situated with tourism. So you still kind of get that feeling of, Vietnam.
Is it just as much jungle as ever?
Well, it's got everything. It's got jungles, mountains, beaches, sand. I mean, they literally almost have everything. They're big countries. They're not that small.
Thailand's got a lot of islands also, doesn't it?
Yeah. And the names of the islands and the cities are amazing. I mean that's marketing 101. That's marketing genius right there. Whoever came up with those names, Bangkok, fuck it. Where you going? Fuck it. Where you going? Fuck it. Phuket. But again, it's just kind of interesting. It's for me in PR and from a marketing's point of view, it's kind of funny just to. It would be also interesting to see how this change of them being the first Asian country to allow just to see how that's going to affect. Because I think if it works out, you'll start seeing other countries like India, Sri Lanka, start adopting the same thing.
Joanna wants to know if you like print on demand, Scott.
See, there's a problem with print on demand. You have to have some kind of artistic, be creative, and I've never been accused of. I can't even draw a stick figure. My brain, what do they say, left brain, right brain kind of folks. I'm not an artistic. So I've not done. I know a lot of people that do very, very well with that kind of stuff, but there are also people that are artistic and thinking ideas like that I just don't.
Morning, Carol. How's the Boston area? We've kind of had some mild weather around here since the big freeze.
It's cold this morning. It's 30 this morning.
I just want to tell you all about this greenhouse thing. Please keep doing whatever it is that you're doing, because our country here is turning green. We're getting rain. It's 26 degrees Celsius right now, which never happens before. It's like 70 out. It's beautiful.
See, wow. Don't lie like that. Don't say never, because you weren't around when the planet. The planet is in constant flux. You look at different places.
But we've always been a desert environment.
Look at the tops of mountains and places where they found seashells and everything else and fossils. Just because it is like it is now doesn't mean it was a desert.
Oh, I agree with you 100%. But we've always been a desert.
But back then, I wonder if the dinosaurs called it climate change.
We're going to be 82 degrees here for our afternoon high. 82. It's January the 10th. Oh my gosh.
Probably 58. It's about normal.
Ugh. That just means if it's this warm in winter, this summer is going to be a scorcher, I bet.
Yep.
Yeah, I watched an interesting video over the weekend, and it was talking about California in the last 3 to 4 weeks, and that area of the country with the West Coast, how much rain they've gotten. Everybody's doom and gloom about Lake Mead and how far it is down. The Colorado snow basin that feeds Lake Mead, over the last, I think, 40 years, they are up. They currently have 40% more snow than an average year, and a lot of there are several. They were pointing to several of the lakes and stuff out there that if it continues like it has for any of the foreseeable future, there were lakes out there that were going to have to release dams because they'd gotten so much rain. So hopefully the West is getting some relief.
Yeah, Lake Mead, it's been low for years and years.
It's historically low. It's getting to the point where it's getting to the edge of where the intakes are. The dinosaurs call it the Great Flood.
Yeah, but the issue is just like California, which is something that happens here. When it rains, it's just like that. I've never seen anything like it. It's literally as if the heavens just opened up and it's just washing. I mean, it's literally raining, and it's so big that you can dent your car. That's how big the raindrops are. Yeah, you can get hurt if you're standing. I mean, it's just, and then within minutes, the whole street is just covered in water. By the way, I mean, for the last 2 weeks, my kids have been going schooling from home. They've canceled schools here for almost 2 weeks. They do online just because of the rain.
I think a part of Los Angeles' problem is they don't get a ton of rain to begin with, and then everything out there is a concrete jungle. So where does all the water and the rain go when there's nothing to it? If it rains out here, I'm in Alabama. I'm not in the country. There's plenty of of soil to absorb the rain, but a lot of these big cities are just not prepared for what they're getting right now.
Well, the issue with us is historically, the people knew where the rain would come out from the mountains to the sea, because the sea. I'm living on the Red Sea, and there's flood valleys that used to be there. Well, what happened was people got greedy and started to build on those flood valleys.
Right.
And that's when 10 years ago we had 500 people died and the whole city was devastated, and they had to restructure. They actually had to demolish those neighborhoods to rebuild those ravines so that the water can go straight out to the sea. But
yeah,
as cities grow, it becomes difficult.
Yeah, the Middle East is changing all around. One of the sailing channels I watch just came through Saudi Arabia, and some of the first cruisers to hit some of those ports and stuff. And very interesting to see how they are starting to welcome them. They treated them like royalty. It was absolutely amazing. But every time they wanted to do something, they would tell them, "Well, we haven't thought about that. Let's figure out how we're going." So that the government would have to. They were actually helping the government, because a lot of the area where they would cruise to it had not been mapped out. It's interesting. The Middle East is changing a lot. The weird thing was they went into Jordan, and right there at the top, there where Jordan and Israel come together. They went to Jordan. They spent, I think it spent a week in Jordan, and then they wanted to go next door to Israel. And there's some kind of agreement between Jordan and Israel. They had to take the boat out 5 miles out to turn around to go back in, because they couldn't just sail next door. They had to clear some kind of agreement, which is
there's no open there's no open borders between any of us and Israel, except for maybe 2 borders in Jordan.
Right. It was very interesting that how they had to, once they got 5 miles out, they had to radio back and tell them, "Hey, we're turning around now. Note our position. We're out and turning around to come back to Israel."
Yeah, I mean, unlike in the U.S. or in Europe, where you could drive across all of Europe from one end to the other, we can't do that here. Depending on which countries you're going to be going through, there's usually issues.
What about the rest of the Middle East? Can you drive to the rest of them?
I can go from here to any of the GCC countries, so like Oman, Qatar, Kuwait, Bahrain, right. Oman, all of those you can go to. You can go to Egypt. We should no problems. I can drive up to Jordan. But then, depending on where else you want to go, Iraq, you've got the situation that's ongoing with security, and then Syria, you've got the issues there. So you're stuck then.
And there, I guess there's places you wouldn't want to go. I don't know if you want to go for a drive through Palestine.
I can't go to Palestine.
Very interesting. What about Iraq? Is it free movement through Iraq? I know Iran, they're a little more closed and sanctions, but
well, Iraq used to be free movement, but after the last Gulf War, no, it's a dangerous place. I mean, for safety reasons, it's still free. Yeah, you could go through it, but for safety reasons, would you want to go through it? I don't know.
All the different factions still have control of certain sections of Iraq.
Yes.
Oh no, for safety, for sure, I wouldn't go.
Yeah, I mean, from what I understand, I don't follow too much on Iraq, but the southern side is controlled by one sect, the eastern side is another sect, the west is another, and then the Kurds in the north. And so it's just one of those areas that you wouldn't go. I mean, just like Venezuela or something along those lines, places you wouldn't go.
You definitely wouldn't go to Brazil right now. There's the little TV they're showing out of Brazil. Brazil is on fire right now.
No, Brazil is actually they're pretty fine right now. They have no issues anymore. They were able to lock up, I think, 1,500 to 2,000 people yesterday, and they retook everything, and everyone's in jail. And they've told people that they're gonna start charging them with treason. I mean, this is in America, right? So you're not gonna have a Bill of Rights and the Constitution to protect you and all these other things. And their president is sitting in Florida, for crying out loud.
Yeah, and that's what other people forget. They look at like with the Canadian truckers and some of those things. You know, even Canada, which we think is very similar to us, does not have the same protections that the United States has.
Look, I mean, one of the interesting things is I went to school in the UK, and I was interested in politics a lot. So I was amazed and shocked to find out that the British, who are the original democracy, they don't have a written constitution. They don't have a Bill of Rights. You'd never think of that. Britain is supposed to be the house of democracy, but they don't have a written constitution or a Bill of Rights. They use what they call common law.
And I guess that most of that comes from the House of Commons. Is that
common law is basically old law that's already been, it's basically what the courts have already ruled in the past, or what has already taken precedent beforehand. That's common law.
Go back to the Magna Carta days, huh?
Yeah, but the Magna Carta days is not, again, it's not a written constitution or a Bill of Rights. The only Bill of Rights and constitution that the British had was from the European Union when they were part of the European Union. Once they left that, they went back to a non-written constitution and no Bill of Rights. So in England, you don't have a right to say what you want. In England, you don't have a right, whereas these are common rights that you have as an American.
Yep, we barely have one, Sadie says. I can't say what I want to on YouTube.
Well,
everything.
You can't say what you want in a movie theater either. You can't say, there's a lot of things that you guys can, there's also common sense too.
Well, sure.
Common sense died a long time ago. Here we go.
Mm-hmm. Atlantis.
Cakes and bacon. I mean, come on, lad.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a bacon, egg, and cheese burrito here in just a minute. So, were they when you were in the U.S.? Were they strict on you? Did you not enjoy our bacon and other things?
What do you mean? I did not enjoy your bacon and other things? Who is strict on me? No one's strict on me.
Can you not eat? Can you eat pork as a Muslim?
I can do whatever I want as a Muslim. It's a choice. No, I'm not. My religion says I shouldn't do it.
Right.
But it also tells me I have a choice whether I want to do it or not. And by choice, I've chosen not to. Religion is about, listen, religion to me, religion is all about choice, right? If you're not given the choice, then how can someone ever judge me if I never had the choice? If everything was written and I'm supposed to do 1, 2, 3 and follow 1, 2, and then you have to do all, then how can I ever be judged? So it's about choice. I make that choice not to eat pig or pork. And then, by the way, all these things that you're not allowed to do, they give you the reasons for it, and there's science that you can go back and do the research and for your own sake, for your own sake.
Well, in the Jewish faith too, if you look back in
the Christian,
they talk about not eating pork because back in the day they didn't understand what made you sick, and so pork was considered dirty because it made a lot of people sick.
It's in Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. You do have some Orthodox Christians and some that don't also eat pork.
No, you're 100% correct. And Ron said he died like the TCU Horned Frogs. So that is a perfect. The college football championship in the 4 teams they put in there is a perfect example of what happens when you pass out participation trophies.
I don't know. I don't know about no participation trophies. I don't know about all that. Just to have TCU be there for the last 10, 15 years is an amazing thing because it knocks people out like that we're all used to. It's always been Alabama's, the Georgias, Florida State, Florida, Miami. That's who we grew up. Always, it was always the same schools, always. So when Oregon comes in and does something, or TCU comes in and does, it's exciting.
But it's not exciting though when you put a team in. If you look at TCU and their schedule and how they were a dominant come from behind team and they were a second half team is what they told people. Out of their nine of their 11 games, they only won by single digits, and of those 9 games, 7 of them they played a backup quarterback. And so you start looking at their schedule and going, well, they played the 7th schedule out of 119. They barely beat a bunch of backups, and we're going to celebrate this team as doing something wonderful.
Wasn't that the same thing? Wasn't that the same thing that Utah did a few years back when they had like nobody and they were going undefeated? It's who they play. It's
who they play. And then you look at my poor Crimson Tide. I mean, we should have won the 2 games. We should have never lost those games. There were some interesting things that have come out about the season and about a lot of players who were not all in it for the team. But anyway,
I heard that it was the reason why Alabama lost was 2 reasons mainly. One was that the Democrats were able to pay the refs and made sure that the referees were Democrats, and the second thing was the issue with it was that Trump wasn't the quarterback.
Well, we had our quarterback was fine, except for he was in the 2 losses. He's hurt in both those games,
stirring up trouble.
So the big thing is, you reward a team that plays the 70th schedule, and in Alabama who plays the hardest schedule in the country, number 1 schedule.
Wait, Beard. Come on. Yeah. If we want to talk about Alabama, how many billions of dollars do you guys pay to those players that come to you?
It's legal now. We can pay them.
Yeah, but it's legal now, but you were doing it 30 years ago and 20 years ago. How in the world? Why would any player want to go to Alabama? Can you explain that to me, please? If I had a choice to go to California, or I can go to Florida or Hawaii, Colorado had the reputation of being the best party school. Why am I going to Alabama for?
Alabama's a huge party school. You just don't understand. When I was there in '91, we were number 1 in the rankings of party schools, and they specifically got themselves off these lists. So what's at Alabama? If you're playing college football, your dream is to play in the NFL. At this current moment, there are 70 NFL players that went to Alabama.
Came from Alabama.
Yeah, but wait. But the number 1 school that sends kids to the NFL, isn't that the Ohio State or the USC Trojans?
It's Alabama. No school has ever sent 70 to the NFL.
Alabama, all you guys have is linemen. All you got is those big white boys in the front.
You realize our quarterback's probably going number 1, right?
You do realize your quarterback has never been good name the last quarterback that went into the NFL that was good from Alabama.
There are currently 2 in the playoffs.
Who?
The Philadelphia Eagles, Jalen Hurts.
And
Tua is also in the playoffs.
Basically, Jalen was probably the best quarterback that Alabama's ever had. And still, he hasn't made it to anything. So, like I said, it's the beauty of Alabama is that you have an amazing overall team. But the reason is because you're able to get so many 5-star players. It's ridiculous. It's like choosing it's like having the all-star team playing against the Philadelphia Eagles or the Dallas Cowgirls.
So I guess you don't know who Joe Namath and Ken Stabler are?
I know. I don't remember that far back. No.
But they are both.
When I was growing up, it was Joe Montana and everyone about Dan Marino. You got any of those come from Alabama?
It's no. Joe Namath and Ken Stabler are both in the Hall of Fame, and they both won Super Bowls, and they were both Alabama quarterbacks in the '60s.
Hey, Mr. Sadie, Joe Camel. You've heard of Joe Camel?
Joe Camel.
Yeah, he didn't know about Joe Camel, did he?
Yeah, there's a heavy chance that in the draft coming up, we'll have the number 1 and number 2 players. Our quarterback and linebacker are one's the best offensive defensive player.
Look, like I said, Beard. Look, as someone who grew up watching and I loved college, it was never fun for me to watch Alabama because you knew they could crush whoever they were facing. because of so many. Like I said, it's so many 5-star. Like even the Notre Dames don't get that many. You know what I mean? There's still some fun into it. But when you're dominating that badly, it's like Florida State back in the or Miami in the 80s and 90s.
Miami in the 80s was just
Yeah. How did they get all those players? But at least Miami, it's a fun place to be. It's a party town. You could see why people would want to go there.
You don't think that paid them?
I'm pretty sure. I mean, just if you show up to Miami and party one night, you don't need to pay me. If you cover those parties, we're good to go. Glock, definitely I'm jealous. I'm a Maryland Terrapin fan. What do you think? I'm going to sit here and clap for Alabama?
We gave you a freaking quarterback. What more do you want? We gave you your head coach and your quarterback for this past year. What more do you want, man?
Throw in a few linemen.
Tua's little brother was your quarterback, and what's his name? Y'all got him from us, Mike Loxley. He was our offensive coordinator when y'all came and got him.
Oh, it should be. Look, it's going to be an interesting NFL playoff season. That's for sure.
Oh, I'm excited to see that.
Anybody could win it.
Certainly, there's some new blood.
Morning, Harry.
I think Philadelphia's got a great shot. Just depends on how fast.
Harry,
Jalen's arm gets.
24K gives quickies.
He's going to charge you like by the minute.
1999 happy ending.
How you doing, Harry? Harry is the most fun, laid-back guy in YouTube, I think. He's just fun. Good guy.
So did you watch any of the games this weekend, Felix?
Yeah, I did.
It's kind of sad to see Green Bay. It ain't gonna make a difference. They're not good enough to win it all anyway. But we might have seen the last of Aaron Rodgers. His press conference was pretty depressing.
Look, I mean, Aaron Rodgers was probably. I mean, I used to love him back in the day. Something happened to him over the last 5-6 years. Him and Brady just, I don't know, something just went in their head somehow, and they turned it more into about them than about the. It's just look. It's the same thing. In the 80s, maybe up until the 80s, I could understand you following one team, yeah, because the team was the same team year in, year out. But today, when Todd sit here and tells me he's a Cowboys fan, how? Half your team is gone the next year.
Hey, Felix, my little fella here wanted to tell you that his mama is gonna rent him out to have sex.
Man. Where's my dog? Here. Let me show you my dog then.
I'm 8 pounds of sex organs.
Stop, Flash. Oh, he won't stop.
Oh.
I'd let Daddy sleep until 7:20 this morning. Is it cold outside, boy? Yeah, this one, Franklin, is straight crazy. But it's weird. So we have one dog that's real. The middle girl who's real serious. Phoebe is always, she don't like anybody that comes over. She barks at everybody. And Joni was online talking to her. She's kept up with the lady who got the other girl in that litter. It's amazing how they are exactly the same. Their dog is a female from the same litter. Likes no one. Always serious. Oh, did you hear that? Are you on alert?
I think I got the world's laziest dog. He's so lazy, my kids gave him to me. My 8-year-old actually came and said, "This dog is broken. You can have him."
Yeah, this one, I had to move boxes around. He's got a place out here. He comes out here, lays and takes a nap or lays in the sun while I'm out here working.
Funny thing is, he says, "I want another dog." I'm not buying another dog. That's it. You can have him. That's all you're getting.
Yeah, these aren't like toys yet. They hang around for several years,
Yep.
especially these little ones. But we've got one inside that in a couple of weeks will be 16. You tell him you learned this week what a pup cup was?
I got a kid that's coming to look at these two watches, so he calls me up and says, "Hey, can you take picture of the the warranty card? Can you take a picture of the ID that you used when you bought the watch? Can you take pictures of the watch?" I was like, "What are you talking about? When you come over, I'll give you a magnifying glass and you can go and have 20 minutes with it. I'm not sitting here to take 20 pictures. What are you going to look at with pictures? It depends on the light and stuff. If you're looking for scratches, you're not going to get them from pictures."
And what do they want to see your ID for?
I have no. He's like, Didn't you have to give them your? Didn't they write your ID when you bought it?" I was like, "That's not how it works, son. They put your name down. They give you the card. You can put your name down. It's up to you. You want to hear something? Remember when Corona came out last year or 2 years ago, and we were all locked up for the first 3 months from like February until about May or something. We had lockdown here, so they opened it up for 2 weeks. And I went and bought a watch. I had gotten a call from my dealer saying one of my watches came in, so I went in and I bought it. And he gave me the card to write my name on it. I literally wrote Corona. Uh,
Yeah, there was a long time. Anything I had to sign when I was traveling and chasing a lot of retail arbitrage a few years back, I would sign my signature so bad I just sign everything Santa Claus. Isn't that right? Isn't that right, Pee Wee? Santa Claus, no.
oh, Glock, don't worry. I would never take a picture of my warrant or any type of my watch or the serial. That you can get that once you buy the watch, not before.
You're big for a little one.
Bye, Harry.
But if I'm able to sell these for hopefully for the price, and I'm giving it to them for cheaper than what they are. The Hulk, I'm selling the Hulk for. Let me see how much it is in dollars here. I'm selling the Hulk for $22,000. Stainless steel.
So is all. So how long have you sold watches?
All my life. No,
So
I don't sell. Wait. I don't sell what. Okay, what happened was this. When I turned 16 or 17, whenever it was, and my dad gave me a little bit of money and said, "You can go buy a car." All my brothers would go buy a car. They were always interested in cars. I just never liked cars, and I could always take one of their cars. So I took my money and I went and bought a watch. This is how it happened. And then 4 years later, it broke. So I took it to get serviced. And when I was being serviced, the guy there said, "Would you want to sell the watch?" And he offered me 3 times what I paid for it.
Oh wow, that's an eye
And it's
opener.
broken. So I was like, okay. So I sold it to him. I went and bought another. And then that just clicked in my head. So instead of buying the car, I could always buy the. And then it just kept going like that. And then when you get older and you start making good money and stuff like that, you'll waste it. I'm the kind of person, if I have money in my bank account, I'll waste it. Dinners and going out to football games and traveling on weekends with your friends. So what I would do is I would just go buy a watch. And then I don't have the money to go do anything else. And then it started becoming like a way of saving. And it became more fun and more fun. And then I started realizing that, wait, I'm buying a lot of watches because I have a long history with the AD that a lot of people can't buy. So then it just became an investment for me. So like the Rolex, the Hulk, I bought for 8K. I'm selling it for 22K after 7 years of wearing it and enjoying it.
So I was going to ask you with this newer generation that doesn't seem to wear watches and all the electronics and stuff. Has it affected the demand for your?
No. Because watch, okay, look, the thing about luxury watches is it's not about the watch. Yeah? I'll give you a great example. I know a lot of people that wear watches, they don't even fix the time on it. Yeah, he's not wearing it because he wants to see the time. He's wearing it to show off to the person. That's the sad thing about it.
Right.
It's about showing off. It's about showing that you're successful, that you've reached a pinnacle in your career. You have to have the Rolex. You have to get the Mercedes. You have to get that. So it's one of those things where it will never go out because what else can a man put on his hand? You see what I'm saying? To make him look different. All we have is the watch, your shoes, the brace, your pen, and your belt. Anything else, and you look gaudy. You can't put on chains and stuff and go to work. It's all about being a status symbol.
You can't get on the desk because you'll step on the keyboard and then we'll be gone. You can't get on the desk.
Glock, yeah, I have a Daytona, and yes, I have. I don't have the Pepsis. I have the Batman. I don't like the new Pepsi. The red in it isn't right, and I also don't like any of the sports models to have the Jubilee bracelet on it. So I didn't get the Pepsi. But I have a gorgeous gold Oyster Flex Daytona.
What are you staying out here with me for so long?
If you want the Pepsi, I'd get the older one, not the new one. The one on the Jubilee it looks horrible.
Yeah,
Jubilee should be left just for Datejust.
I'm with Tim. You can keep the Mercedes, the belt, the pins. Hell, you can keep the watch. I don't even want the watch.
I couldn't hear you.
I say the Glock 30 is saying you can keep the Mercedes and belt and the pin. I'm with him. I don't want any of that either.
I don't like cars, so I'm not into cars. I had an FJ Cruiser for the longest time.
You know what kind of a sex status symbol it is? I drive a minivan.
There you go. Minivans are nice. You got used to that whole back.
Like you live in Philadelphia, all cars are either rusted out or just beat to hell because y'all run into each other like bumper cars.
Yeah, and anywhere you park in Philadelphia, you get a ticket.
Yeah, the last time I was there, I was trying to get a.
They don't have parking lots or parking meters. They just give out tickets.
I was over near Geno's to get a cheesesteak, and the van would barely fit into a parking place, so I had to do like everybody else. I had to bump the back card when I was doing parallel parking to get the van into the spot. Yeah, I don't know if it was a thing when you were around, but Felix, now when you're in New York, a lot of people have those. They have these things attach inside the trunk, and they come out and they cover the bumpers. Back into the bumper so much.
You know the new cars, you just press a button and it parks itself, right?
Well, that's for
much easier.
That's for amateurs.
Glock, no Breitlinks. I don't do Breitlinks. I'm mostly Rolex, APs, Pateks, and a few of the German brands like La Chute or Lange and Zona. I don't do Richard Mille. I do Parmigiani, FP Journe. By the way, I had a friend call me yesterday. He was crying, literally crying, because I was asking him if he wanted to buy one of the watches that I was going to sell. And he almost started crying. I was like, what the hell? What's wrong with me? He's like, I'm sitting on 12 Richard Mille watches. I said, you're an idiot. I told you from the beginning, why would you buy a watch that just came out? And he doesn't even make his own parts. I mean, because everyone's going for them, yeah? All the sports athletes in America are wearing them. This guy's paid $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 for these watches that are not worth more than $80,000 now, $70,000 now. And he's sitting on 12 of them. Because at one point, no one had them, and you could sell them for 3, 4, 5 times the price. But history's shown you that brands like this always go up and down. They don't have a history with them. They hire a few influencers and some marketing people, and boom, they're off.
They don't have the staying power that the luxury brands have.
I mean, he's been there for 5, 10 years. 10 Why would you be investing that much money? I mean, and you know what the funniest thing, Beard, is? You know the band watch costs $500,000. You ready for this? $500,000. You know what the band is made out of?
Fake love.
Spandex.
Spandex. What?
Your underwear spandex. You know that underwear part, the underwear that stretches, the spandex on your underwear?
Yeah, that allows you to wear
That elastic thing that allows you to hold your underwear up. I swear to you, that's what he's got on his a 500, and people are buying them.
The spandex that allows me to wear a medium whenever I am a XXX.
Glock, if you want Pepsi's here or not, that I'll tell you exactly how much a Pepsi is here because a guy just asked for one yesterday. Pepsi here right now is it's 15,000.
My pants right now even have spandex in them.
There you go. Take that off, put it on your watch, and you've got a Richard Mille on.
I don't have a watch.
Just bite your hand. You remember that trick we used to do back in the day? Bite your hand, you get a watch. Just put the spandex on that.
Oh, I do have a Galaxy watch. I just don't wear it much.
Yes, Brenda, they do. I have a couple of watches that have more than 24 hours in a day.
Anissa, you just don't know. I get so much of that crazy maiden form back because either they're too small or too large, they don't fit. I'm like, would you measure your fat ass before you order? It's amazing. I bet 30 to 40% of that comes back.
Sadie, I have 3 Seikos. I love them. I've got 2 Seiko 5s and a 1970s Seiko helmet. Love them. And I've got the SKX, which is the diver's one, the Pepsi. Love it. I actually put it on a band that's more worth than the watch.
I found this fossil at a yard sale.
I sold that Seiko 3 or 4 years ago for $1,600. Dang.
Brenda, I've got a watch that costs about $500,000 that doesn't even tell you time. It just tells you when it's time to have sex. Literally.
What?
I swear to God, I just go ding, 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 and you can just see someone. Hey, I'll show you a video if they have it on YouTube.
I've been married for 30-some years. That'd be a fucking joke. you don't even have to put a battery in that one. You just wear it around because you know it's never going to go off.
When it's time to have sex, your watch alarm goes off.
And so the most expensive watch I've sold, I don't sell a lot of watches. I did sell one. Got a couple $100 for it. It was the weirdest thing. I was at a yard sale, estate sale. They sold it to me for $1. It looked like a golf ball. So it had time that was in different spots. I forget who made that watch. Let me look it up. But it was real weird. It was one of those things from the 60s that they tried to put the time in 2 different places instead of like their
a man's watch? Get your wife one of those sex watches.
There you go.
All right, what do we got here?
Pee-wee, where are you going?
Erotica.
Oh, now the damn watches are $1,600. If I'd only kept up with it like 8 years.
That thing doesn't even tell time.
No, it does tell the time. Just joking. But you see the top of it? Wait until the alarm goes off and you'll see. Just wait for the alarm.
Yeah, that watch was an Elgin. They call it a jump hour. It was it's completely covered by what looks like a ball, except for a little mouse cheese slice on the very bottom that shows you the time and date.
That watch is on sale right now for $212,000.
On sale.
That's about, in your lifetime, how many times does it go off?
The problem isn't it going off, Pops. The problem is every time it goes off, 9 months later, something going, That's the problem.
Yep.
Well, then you need one that tells you when it's time to have sex, and another one is time to pull out.
That doesn't work. They trick you. These women trick you. 30 seconds of fun, and you get kids all over.
You having fun? Me not here with me. That's my finger you're biting.
Look, like I was saying earlier, I mean, I see a lot of people talking about Timexes and Seikos. Guys, all watches are fine. I have no problem with whatever watch you wear. I'm just telling you that my Rolexes actually cost cheaper than your Timex or your Seiko, because I'm buying them for $9,000 and selling them at 20 and wear them for 6 to 10 years and enjoying them. Right. So I'm actually being paid to wear them. It's not about if it cost me money, I'd only have one watch. If I was going to lose money, I don't need more than one or two, one for every day and one as a dress. That's if I'm trying to, split. It's not about that. It's about these watches are making you money. So don't think of it. I'm not trying to show off or say, hey, look at it's not about that at all.
Hey, it's the other, that one watch is not making you no money. If you're wearing that next watch, it's costing you money.
Oh, yeah. But the best watch I ever bought, it was Luck. What happened is I went in, it was a closeout sale for one of the dealers. I walked in and bought a watch, and then that watch ended up being broken. I took it back, and he said, I could fix it for you. And I was like, I don't want it. It's a brand new watch. Just give me something else. And he's like, here's what I have. And I didn't like anything that he had. So what I did is I took a picture of it, and I sent it to a group of friends that I have on YouTube, like here, but they're watch collectors. And it was an American pilot who came back and said, that watch right there, I'll give you $30,000 for it. I said, what? So I went back to the guy and I said, how much is this watch right here? And the guy said, it's $8,000. I actually ended up selling that watch for $85,000.
Yeah, because if somebody's willing to give you 30, it's probably worth more.
And the only reason why it was worth it was nothing about it was a Cartier. But the reason why it was so expensive and people didn't know about it, I didn't even know about it, was that the movement was made by F.P. Journe and De Thun, which are now two of the largest independent watchmakers. And their watches cost over $100,000. So this was like the cheapest way for you to get into their watches. So it was just luck sometimes. No, I don't do TikTok or any of that stuff. I don't do TikTok. I don't do anything online. I used to have a YouTube channel for my gold and silver, and I took even that down. It's just not worth it.
What was it? Too much trouble for you? You didn't like the little comments you got in?
No, it wasn't about the comments. It was more about it just starting getting a little bit scary security-wise. You know what I mean?
I mean, because you don't realize.
I mean, look, I don't travel with any of these watches. Yeah, I'm not stupid. When I travel anywhere around the world, I wear the cheapest watch I have. I wear, regular, whatever, flip-flop. I'm not trying to look out. I'm not trying to grab anyone's attention. I only wear these watches where I feel comfortable, which is here. I would never even take any of these watches to the States when I go to the States. Never. It's just not worth it. So, like, again, it's not about showing off or just enjoying them. I actually wear them more at home. My wife makes fun of me. She's like, you wear them more at home than out. Yeah, I feel comfortable. I'm not trying to get robbed. These are investments at the end, too.
Well, people don't realize, too, the more you talk on these things, the more you reveal about yourself, and people can use that information to track you down pretty easily.
Oh, yeah, that's what I said. That was one of the scary things is we were in a group with Todd and others for silver and gold, and I, used to get people to get me some silver and gold coins and stuff like that. And I trusted someone who I shouldn't have trusted. And then that person literally went and, shared my mom's address with everybody. To me, that was scary because even though my mom doesn't have any of my gold, it's still my mom and she's there. She's in America. You know what I mean? And there's crazy people. So I was like, nah, this is stupid.
That's why every now and then on your videos, I have to make sure that people see that I have a gun with me at all times. I'm a Southern boy. I don't go anywhere without that thing. Most of the time I have one out here. I don't have one this morning. But every now and then I'll get a comment in a video, I've got a hole on the side by my knee in the van, and they'll go, is that what I think it is by your knee? I'm like, yeah. I live in.
Glock, I'd stick away from the Diamond District in New York City. Their gold bars are fake. Their watches are fake. Their diamonds are fake. Unless you know who you're dealing with there, I wouldn't trust. I wouldn't do anything like that. If you really want to think about buying watches and stuff, start thinking about outside of the U.S. Think about Dubai, Singapore, even Paris is a good place because they give you back the tax when you go to leave, so you actually it becomes cheaper. And Rolex has one price around the world, so it makes no difference. It's actually cheaper to buy it in Paris or one of these countries that don't charge taxes.
Yeah, I don't know if many people realize that. You have to get that done in the airport as you're leaving. Correct?
Yes.
They'll give you your tax that you spent in the country back.
Well, what happened? Well, not no, it's not. It's not the same way. What happens is because it's such a high value, high net worth value item. What happens is the store itself will send off everything. All you have to do is when you get to the airport is just go show them the watch. You don't have to show them a receipt or anything. They put that in the computer, and then within 3 weeks to a month or two later, they'll send you the money to wherever you are.
Morning, Glenn.
Because I was watching a channel, I forget what it was, but they had to do something very similar.
Yeah.
It might have been expensive cameras or something and they were talking about that. We didn't realize until we bought it here that they were going to get money back because you don't charge tax. I forget, it might have been Paris. I forget what country they were in, but it was one of these bigger YouTubers that broke an $8,000-$10,000 camera that had to be replaced.
Yeah, we always get a stack of those receipts you're supposed to turn in at the airport on your way back home for stuff we bought, like in Italy. I always pretty much just throw it away because we never buy anything really expensive much.
Glock, that's the same way around the world. That's why I told you the reason why I've been successful at doing what I'm doing is because I've literally bought all the watches for my parents, my sisters, their weddings. I bought the watches for my friends. It's just, like you have a car expert friend. I'm known as the watch. So when anyone wants, and then I go with them and I buy it and I get it for them. So I've built that rapport with them. And then I use the same dealer over and over. And it's not just for buying watches. It's also for buying jewelry. So my wife's jewelry and stuff like that. That's how you do it. They'll never do it if you just buy watches, by the way. The trick is not buying watches. If you go into a Rolex dealer and say, listen, I'm going to buy 10 Daytonas and I'm going to buy 15, he's just going to look at you and laugh. But if you go in there and you say, give me those 2 diamond rings right there, and then ask for a Daytona, he'll give it to you. He makes so much money on the jewelry. He only has a certain amount that he can make on the watch. So what he wants is to sell you the high-end jewelry. You buy the jewelry, you get the watches you want for retail. By the way, Glock, just so you know, my Daytona was at 25% under retail. I got it. So any gold Rolex watch, I get 25% under, and then 30% for platinum. And I used to get 10% on steel, but they stopped that. So Glocks, just start buying jewelry from him for your whole friends, anyone of your friends that's getting married. Say, hey, you need an engagement ring? Let me go get. I know someone that I can help. And just start doing it that way. Yeah, my name is El Chapo. Cabaron, pendejo. Guy called me a Mexican kingpin. I mean, is it because I'm brown?
Y'all look alike.
Oh God. Yes, some of the markup on jewelry is crazy. Again, you just have to know. Again, when you start dealing with them, you'll get all that discounted stuff off. Basically, Glock, the way that I do it is I buy jewelry for a lot cheaper also, because what I do is I tell them, if you're stuck and you've got a piece that no one wants to buy and you're going to melt it, I'll pay you melt value for it. And they get charged money to get, to take off all the jewelry that's on it or the diamonds and then to melt it. So he'd rather have, but that takes a while in a relationship.
Yeah, that's the problem with the world today is you grew up in the 80s, 70s, 80s. Man, comedians were funny. It was laughing at everything. Make fun of everybody. It didn't matter. and now everybody is so damn sensitive. It's just incredible that people walk on eggshells. Uh, some of my favorite comedians, I still see the ones that aren't afraid to, talk about the differences and ethnicities and stuff. Who was I listening to last night that was talking about you can't don't go drinking with your white friends because your white friends are going to get drunk.
Oh, that was I know who that was. That's what's his name? Kevin Hart, wasn't it?
No, it's not Kevin Hart. It's the one with all the. It's. I'll think of it in a minute. He likes the F bomb.
And then he says the white friends we're gonna go get fucked up.
We're gonna go get fucked up. Yeah. It is.
Look, Beard. When I arrived in the U.S., I mean, I came from a society where you don't make fun of anybody. Yeah. If I call a person here a dog or a donkey, you can get arrested.
It's cat.
And the reason for that is because we're very much tribal people, and that could start wars between people.
Right.
You humiliate me or you make me lose face, and something's gonna go. So when I arrived in the U.S. and all they're doing, this is 82, 83 in D.C. And all everyone's doing is your mama's this and your mama's that, and I had to quickly learn. Because where I come from, you say your mama and we fighting. I mean, we're dying. It's not just fighting. That's mama. You can make fun of everybody in my family. You don't make fun of my mama.
Yeah,
and then you learn that quickly. The funny thing is, then I would come back here and I would crack a your mama joke and almost get killed.
Yeah, people didn't realize back in the 80s, your mama jokes were just, oh my God,
Oh, I got a whole bunch of those.
Yeah, it was Cat Williams I was listening to. That's one funny joke.
Your mama's so fat she used to wear combat boots in the shower. Your mama's like a shotgun. My cock, she blows. Your mama's like a Toyota. Once I'm on, oh, what a feeling. Your mama's everywhere here. But yeah, again, just different cultures. You say your mama jokes anywhere in Asia or in Africa, and you'll literally get killed. I mean, they will literally lose their minds.
Yeah, your culture is very interesting. To see some of the videos of where Fluffy was talking about how he was, people in the Middle East love him. So he's going over to Saudi Arabia, and he gets off the plane, and he has been driven around. He's like, all of a sudden, we're going into the desert, and he's like, I just thought it was weird. And so he started asking about why
he got scared. No. He got scared. When they drove him to the desert, he was scared. He thought he was going to get killed or something's going to happen to him. Yeah. Maybe I got in the wrong car, and who are these people that picked me up? He was scared.
But he's like, they finally told him, if we do this in the cities, we'll all be arrested.
but by the way, that's changed. You know that, right?
Oh, has it really?
Oh man, if you go look at, we had a rave. We've just had 3 large raves here. Middle Beast.
No kidding.
Dude, we had DJ Khaled. They had who was that guy? Busta Rhymes. They had Maroon 5, and all these guys just came and they did shows here. Mixed shows. Everyone's partying. It's a completely different kingdom now. It's very open.
Yeah, and who's the other one? What's his name? Who brought Ahmed with him? And they're like, you might not want to.
Oh no, he's number 1 here. Jeff Dunham.
Jeff Dunham.
He's he's the number 1 comedian here, by the way.
No
Fluffy's number 2. He's number 1. For some reason, people just love Ahmed the Dead Terrorist.
I kill you.
In Malaysia, he wasn't allowed to do that.
Yeah, they changed him. Where was it? They changed him to what the dead Jewish person or
something. He had to do that in Malaysia. But yeah, I mean, just going back to it, if we can't laugh at each other and we can't laugh with each other, then we got nothing.
So
talk about a jewelry wearing mama. That Thelma Thrift, man, she couldn't stand up if she put on all of her gold jewelry.
So were you breakdancing at some of these raves, Felix?
Actually, I didn't. I couldn't go because of work. I was working. I didn't have time to go check it out.
He's too old to
And
break
and
dance.
no, and to be honest with you, I wouldn't have gone. I was raised different. I was raised that if you want to do things like that, thank God we've got the money. Just go do it in Paris or London or somewhere else. You don't need to shit where you sleep. But I sent my son there, and he's not like his daddy. He came home early, way early. I sent him there. I paid for him to get VIP tickets, made sure he was well taken care of. And I called him up at 2 a.m. thinking, I'm going to hear music in the background. I don't hear anything. And where are you? I'm back home. Why are you home? I didn't like it. Too crowded. Okay.
Yeah, they can keep the crowds. I'm out. I gotta find something to talk about tomorrow on the morning show. Somebody give me a good idea for a topic tomorrow.
Marketing. Search word optimization. That's what I get paid for. How to get good ratings.
Felix, did you ever get paid by that deadbeat customer?
No, can you believe that? 240,000. It's 11 months now. I just sent an email today saying, I'm just wondering when should I expect payment? Funny thing is, they sent me an RFP for like a job that would have been like up in the, but I was like, there's no point to this. So I just said, I'm sorry, I'm not interested. The only reason why that client screwed me over is because it was a friend and I trusted him. Never happened to me in 22 years now. Usually I get paid up front. This was a friend and he called and said, I'm in trouble. I need a quick favor. And don't worry. So I went to help a friend. And to be honest with you, I don't care about the 240,000. Guy I've known for 15 years and I've lost. And at our age, we don't make friends that easily anymore. His friendship was worth more to me than that money. He could have just said, listen, I messed up. I don't have the budget for or whatever. But he didn't. He just kept, next month, this month. It just gets to the point where basically I'm begging for my money. I don't like that.
Mm-hmm. I don't have a lot of friends that I would forgive $200,000 for, but
I mean, look, it's work. I mean, things
a few.
happen. It's a contract. These things happen when you work and you got contracts, stuff like that. It can happen.
Yeah.
It's never happened to me because I've always been careful with who I work with, who I
Well,
deal with, and how I deal with them. Like I said, this guy was just a friend. He was a
and
very close friend of mine. So
we always get returns for no good reason on selling on eBay and stuff, but yeah, cost of doing business sometime, I guess.
yeah.
Life's too short to lose your cookies over something you've got.
And I was recording some video last night, and I was trying to explain that because I'm developing a class for new resellers, and it's how important it is to protect your positive attitude and mental state. And returns can just, if you let returns and those kind of stupidity, it's 2% of your business at most for most of us, and we don't focus on the 98. There's out of 100 transactions, you've had issues with 2, but you've had 98 do perfect. The 98 are where you make your living and make everything happen.
Yeah. No, lag, I wouldn't loan you $250,000. I would lag. I would loan you $10. I would do that.
Yeah, James is right. For that kind of money, somebody'd have to get buried in the desert.
for it. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, I know I'm going to get paid. Just don't know when.
Oh, well, if you know you're still going to get paid, then I guess it's okay.
Not really, but
Just,
it's
well,
been over
yeah,
11
but,
months. I've already spent that money 10 times over.
mm-hmm.
When you have money coming in and you think you have money, it's different than when you have it in hand, right?
Yep.
When you have it in hand, you start, okay, I need this for this. Now here you're just spending, thinking, okay, by the time it comes in, you've already double spent it. So, but yeah, I don't know, whatever. Yeah, we don't do interest.
$125,000? Nah.
You getting a cold over there?
No, that CPAP stuff dries out everything that you breathe through, your nose, your throat.
Oh my God!
It takes me till
You use
about
a
noon
CPAP
to get
machine at
over it.
night?
Yeah.
I woke up
I
at
didn't
3
know
o'clock
that.
this morning. Mine had run out of water, and everything was starting to dry out. I felt like I couldn't breathe. At 3 o'clock this morning, I'm adding more water to the humidifier.
They gave that to my mother-in-law about 3-4 months ago, and they gave it to her and everything, and they taught her how to use it and stuff. And then there's a little USB that comes with it, and then she has to take that to the doctor, and she don't know what the USB is all about. She takes that back to the doctor. Doctor puts it in, looks at her, and looks at the stats in front of him, and goes, "Can you bring the machine back, please?" She's never used it. She said, I'll use it. I'll use it. If you ain't using it, bring it back.
Yeah,
No, ours, the one I have automatically updates to the Ethernet or something. I don't know where it goes, but I can just go on the website and look and see what my sleep stuff is doing.
Yeah, my older brother has to use that. He's been using it for almost 10 years now and stuff.
It makes
I don't know how the hell you guys sleep. I mean, I can't sleep with that huge mask on my face.
Well, it becomes a trigger. You know how you go to sleep the same every night. If you do, it's much easier to go to sleep. When I put the mask on, I'm almost asleep. Then I mean, it's a trigger.
The problem with me is I'm a tosser. I mean, I like to sleep on my left side and then switch to the right side and sleep on my tummy. I'm always tossing.
That's why you go to Thailand, because you're a tosser.
That's why he gets $19.99 for 30
Happy
seconds.
It's gonna be charging a lot more if we be tossing. I don't do none of that toss stuff. That's all in America where you all be tossing salad. We don't do that stuff here. I don't know.
I've woken up with that CPAP tube around my neck. I thought somebody was trying to strangle me.
No, I don't move much, so it doesn't bother me. I rarely move when I sleep. So
I didn't know so many people. I didn't know so many people were using them now.
It makes
Is
Yeah.
this like the new fad in America now? Is that what doctors are giving out now? Make money on the insurance?
I've had one since 2000. I've had one since 2000.
No, I took one of those sleep studies, and they said like 30 episodes.
If you go into any study, they'll find something. My mom used to say that when we were little, and we would go crazy like, "Mom, are you stupid? The doctor said he needs to do a biopsy." No, they stick that needle in and they'll find something. They're not sticking it in me. And we would go crazy like, "Mom, the doctor said he had." She's like, "No, whatever he said he's looking for, he's gonna put it in me." I'm not. No.
So my first one in 1998 or 2000, they charged the insurance company $3,400 for that thing. The CPAP machine I've got now, I bought that bitch in an estate sale for $20.
Wow, because they're expensive here. They're same thing. They're about $2,000 to $4,000.
Yeah, this is the one that's been recalled, that Philips Dream Machine, but it's never had the. I never used the cleaner in it, so there's nothing wrong with it. Yeah, I got it for $20 in the estate sale, and I came on, ran the clean with it, and cleaned it up, and put a new mask and everything on, new hoses. I'm cheap. I've had it now for what, 3 or 4 years. If it was going to kill me, it'd have killed me by now.
Do you even have a prescription for it now, Scott?
I haven't been to a doctor in quite a while.
Yeah.
So you just keep reordering the parts to it online and stuff?
Yeah, you can. So the key is you can't buy the whole thing. So like you can't buy a whole mask, but you can buy the frame and you can buy the membrane and you can buy the straps. And so and some CVS's actually carry the mask I use, but that you got to buy the head strap separate because they can't legally sell the whole thing complete. So if it's a CVS, it's got one of those Medi things in them. It's got the little office in them or the little.
Why would you need a prescription for a machine?
Because that's the way they charge you 10 times. They tell you that they need to set your pressure and all that stuff. My pressure is 12.5. When I got that, when I bought that one at the estate sale, I went home and Googled how do you set the pressure on a Philips Dream machine, and it came back. You do this, this, and this, and I set my own pressure, and I'm good.
I don't know how much mine cost. I got mine with Medicare, so I'm sure it was not cheap.
But everything's a scam. You shouldn't have to have a prescription to get. The U.S. You were here in the U.S. You know everything's a scam. You know how much does my medicine cost? I can go across the Tijuana and buy a year's supply for like $10, but it's hundreds and hundreds of dollars here per month.
Well, look, I'll tell you something that's kind of funny in a way. All the American medicines are 99% cheaper here than they are in America, except for one.
Viagra.
Antidepressants and the Xanaxes and all those are like 100 times more expensive because they don't want people using them.
Because they're a scam.
So like
the last few years, how big of a scam they are.
A bottle of Prozac here would set you back like 2 months' salary.
Dang. Get it in Mexico for $10.
I mean, I don't know about Tijuana, but Glock, you know that 90% of the world's medicines are produced in India. 90%. Even Pfizer, even everybody is producing them. India is the world's largest, medicine maker from that, and they're making everything. So how could you? Why wouldn't I buy?
You're not buying them off the street, Tim. You're buying them from Mexican pharmacies. It's not. I mean, it's around the world. You can go anywhere. That's why you can go to Canada and it's not as cheap as Mexico, but Canada's the same way.
Yep.
They charge you here because of the insurance company. Insurance companies it's a huge racket in the United States.
I mean, almost, I'd say maybe like 70% of medicines here will cost you under $5.
Lag says he takes.
I'll tell you something that I was dumbfounded by. I went to Sri Lanka and I got a rash, so they took me to the emergency room. The emergency room, the doctor cleared up the rash, gave me the medicine, was $16. And when they gave me the medicine, you know how in America they give you the pill and it's got like 50 pills in it and they tell you take 7 for the week and then throw the rest away? There, they don't do that. They literally take out 7 pills and put them in a little envelope and say, that's your course. That's all you need.
So the same sailing channel that I was watching that went into Saudi Arabia, the lady had a filling go bad and she needed a root canal. And so she got the root canal done in Jordan because in most of the other countries, U.S. is very separate, but it cost her $80 to have the root canal and everything done. And the same dentist who diagnosed did the root canal as well, and it was $80 US. That's what $1,500, $2,000 US minimum.
Yep. When I wanted, I got about in 2015, 16. I was walking in Dubai, and all of a sudden, I just felt dizziness. My heart started beating really fast. They rushed me to an emergency room. They didn't know what was wrong with me. They start telling me it's vertigo, it's all this, it's that. No one can tell you what it is. Came back to Saudi, did all the blood, no one knows what it is. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to go to the States and get a complete checkup from head to toe. So I started calling up some of the medical centers in the US. Do you know how much I got quoted for just an examination from head to toe? 30,000, 40,000, 50,000. Colonoscopy for $6,000. I was like, what? And then I went and I was looking at the UK, and then finally someone recommended Germany for me. And I went in and I did everything that the Americans were going to do at a first-rate clinic in Germany. It was better than any five-star hotel I've ever stayed at. The service that was there, people meeting me and greeting me at the door. I was the only one there. Went through different doctors, met with all the doctors 2 days later. Then they said all of this. And then at the end of it all, which was the most amazing part, was they gave me the medicines that I needed. Okay, this is what you're wrong. And then they said, you're going to sit with another doctor. And they brought someone who's a naturalist. I've never had that happen. And the guy sat there with me and took me. He's like, you can take this medicine or you can take this herb. You can take this or you can take this. This is, herbs and plants, and it'll take longer time to work. So you take the medicine for a month and then you can start. All of that cost me $5,500, including a doctor that would pick me up in the mornings and go with me so that if I needed to have anything. How? This included a colonoscopy. It included, them sticking something down my throat. They looked at my liver, my kidneys, my heart. They did a complete echogram, stress tests, everything. How? It's crazy.
Because the big insurance companies are not involved.
Well, there's insurance companies all around the world. It's just they're mandated, right? Just like pharmaceutical companies. You know how we operate with pharmaceutical companies here, which is a way that the US should be doing it in a way. We go in and say, okay, how many Tylenol companies are there? There's 6 of them. Okay, listen, we'll only allow 2 of you to sell, but you have to sell under $4. Who's interested? You give them the market to make the money. Do you see what I'm saying? So you might reduce the amounts of choices they have, but they're still getting the same medicine for a lot cheaper. Well, Glock, it is a national healthcare system. The way that the Germans do is they subsidize it for all, even international visitors. They pay a certain amount to the doctors, and then the rest you pay out of pocket. Again, it's just a way for them to keep getting people to come back in. And they've got now tourism, health tourism, and all that stuff. Just think about how much they're gaining out of that. So, okay, luckily for me, I went in with a $5,000 test and everything. But if something was wrong with me, there would have been, that would have another 50, 60,000 plus the hotels I would have needed to stay, the food that I'm spending there. Think of all the things that you don't have that opportunity anymore. Same thing with universities. People no longer are going to American universities because of the high costs. I can get much cheaper in Canada, or I can send my kids to Australia or Germany. Germany's free. Yeah, Glock, I understand that, but that argument only works in America. Pfizer says that to you guys and you believe it. So how come the rest of the world doesn't have to pay for the research? Why is it only the Americans that have to pay for the research? Shouldn't it be around the world, or is it only research that's being done in America? How can Pfizer, which is an American company, get away with charging Americans $50 a pill and sell the same pill right across the river for $4? How? So yeah, you're getting stuck with all that's what they keep telling you guys, and they keep passing it, and the people that are elected are all in the pockets of these people. So trust me, I worked in public relations, and I've worked with a lot of different pharmaceutical companies, even in America. It's crazy what you learn.
You keep preaching. I'm not even gonna argue. You just keep
preaching to the choir. It's we know this, but we don't do anything about it.
You do something about it. You do something about it. We've seen it. You guys have started to do something about it. Electing George Santos, that's a start. That's how we make change. Mr. Santos is going to take care of all those pharmaceuticals now. Did that just fly over everybody's head? No one knows who George Santos is, right? Now all you Republicans don't know who George Santos is anymore, right?
I know they were talking about trying to get rid of him and limit his. The Democrats are so scared of him, they're trying to open investigations into him. So
I'm Jewish. The guy throws up a white power sign. Can someone tell him he's not white?
Yeah, the CNBC. You Google it and CNBC. Congressman George Santos duped many wealthy donors to contribute to his campaign.
Dude, the guy lied. Wait. Beard. The guy lied about his name. The guy lied about his mother's death. The guy lied about university. The guy lied about his work. The guy lied about being gay. The guy. Dude, honestly, I want to see a movie. Hollywood has to make this movie. This is a movie I would watch. This guy's amazing, dude. He's smart.
So did I just prove something to you?
What?
You told me a month ago when I said I'm out of politics, I could care less.
Yeah.
I had barely heard of this guy's name. I didn't know anything about him. I mean, I have dropped politics.
Listen, Beard, I agree. If I was a Republican, I would do the same thing you're doing right now. I'd put my hand to sense. I don't know anything about this. I've been out of politics for the last 4 months.
So we're gonna say this is any different than any of the rest of them. They're all crooked as shit.
100%. They're all crooked. But this guy just took it to another level. Come on now. Let's just be honest here. Come on. Listen to what he said. He's trying to say he's Jewish. Okay? He's trying to say
just a few little Latin. White lies, Al. Let him go.
Well, it's not about the white. I don't care about the white lies. I think it's an amazing story. I want to see a movie. I really want to see a movie. This guy was able. I mean, look at the people that he was able to get money out. This guy went from having zero in his bank account to 30 million. The guy's a genius. I'm sorry. It's an interesting and for me it's an interesting story. I mean, that's PR and marketing. How were you able to go into these people and fool them and trick them, and no one paid any attention to them? It's that. Remember that movie? What's that movie called? Not My Identity or something like that. It's like that. It's just a crazy. It's an amazing Hollywood movie.
Kind of like that movie where the kid pretends to be a pilot and he's
that's what I'm saying.
Oh, that one.
He pretends to be a pilot. He pretends to be a doctor. He pretends to be this. He pretends, and this is a real life story right here. I mean, this guy should be on Discovery tomorrow or National Geographic or something.
National Geographic.
Listen, Brenda.
Here we have a politician in the wild.
Brenda, I have a problem. I have a small problem with you guys keep complaining about Mr. Biden. And let me explain to you why. You guys elected Grandpapa to be your president.
We didn't elect shit.
Okay, whatever. You guys elected Grandpapa to be your president. And now you're upset because he can't comment and he can't stay up. And the man's 90 years old. Let Grandpa sleep.
Hey,
y'all be lucky that he's getting up and walking outside every day.
Felix,
that's Grandpa. Don't be making fun of no Grandpa.
If Joe Biden was legally elected, I'll get on a plane this afternoon and fly over there to kiss your ass in person.
Listen, legally or illegally, that's Papa. Stop making fun of Papa, okay?
We elected him. He was positioned. There was no election when they're putting.
Whatever.
You want to know
respect the Papa. You got to respect your elders. You never been taught that. I would think someone from Alabama, that would be the first thing y'all were taught was respect your elders.
I'm from North Carolina, so there you go.
Well, now I see where the problem is, Yankee.
Oh,
man. Hey, Mr. Sadie, I've told you 1,000 times, and I'll tell you again. I have something called 24K coin. You give me $10,000, you find another 10 people to give me $10,000, and I'll give you $100,000 tomorrow. And those people, if they can find another 10 people, I'll give them 24K coins. We only deal in 10,000. Who's with me?
What was that in the 80s? Was it the little
It's called the
hamburger
pyramid
guy.
scheme.
No, the hamburger guy. He says, "You'll give me this." He was talking about trying to get hamburgers. What was his name? If you give me a hamburger today, I'll give you this tomorrow. That's who you sound like.
Well,
Wimpy.
it's the
Yeah,
oldest scheme in the world, and people keep falling for it, and they just change the name. FTX one day, Bitcoin the next day. It's the same pyramid scheme. Madoff, it's all the same pyramid scheme, and people always fall for it because people want to get rich quick.
you want to talk about Republicans and how they get duped, and then
Well,
and
it's
look
easy
at
to
look
dupe.
at the
It's easy to dupe a Republican. Look at
look at all the Democrats that got caught up in Mr. What's his name and the biggest, largest financial fraud pyramid scheme ever.
Look, Beard, just to be honest with you, I used to be, actually, I grew up a Republican. I used to love Republicanism up until Bush Senior. After that, I've lost all interest. The whole two-system ideal, that should all just get washed. Both parties are the same. They're both the same.
They're not exactly the same. They need each other in order to keep us.
They're the same. They're there for their own interests. They're there to make money. Look at the Democrats. Look at the top Republican. They've all got 30, 40, 50, 60 million that they didn't have when they came into office. Where did they get this money from? They're all getting rich. Okay. They're all flying down to Cancun, partying and having fun. Yeah. In front of the camera. Did you see when they had this election that they had with what's his name? The new guy, Joe McCarthy? So look at when Joe McCarthy was being elected, what happened? You saw AOC go talk with Matt Gaetz and they're hugging and having talk. Come on, man. They're all the same.
They're all the same. You won't get an argument from me.
Yo, James, buddy, I'm an Arab. You don't make deals like that with me. I make deals like that with you. I'll give you 10K and then I'll come on now. I'll go get the ladder. You wait.
Hey, Resale King. Yeah, not much reselling today. We got 24K on here to stir up shit.
Hey, I was just trying to,
Nah,
make it
that's
fun.
good. It is fun.
But
That's
like
why I
you know,
didn't.
you were asking about things for tomorrow. Like I said, search optimization is something that people don't always think about. How to get high ratings, and the way that what I'm talking about, how to get high ratings, is sending a small letter with every box that you send out, saying, I hope that you like what you've received. That really makes a difference to people.
Yeah, do that on Amazon and lose your account.
I'm just saying, send them a little Hershey's kiss. Say, I wanted to brighten your day. Just a little kiss with the part, something along those lines. That all these different big companies, and then look at the big companies and how they market themselves.
Yeah, I put a note in every sale. Thank you.
There you go.
Take this and leave
And
your
then just add a little Hershey's kiss to it, pops. How much is a Hershey's kiss going to cost you?
as it melts all over and they have a return because you got chocolate all over.
There you go. Then
Oh.
you send them a little piece of gum or something. I'm just saying, just when you add a little something to it, people when they see. By the way, when they get a little something out of it, you're less likely to get returns. By the way, because then they feel like they become we know you, we become a friend with you. It's also a way for you to be able to contact them on a later date.
You've been gone from America way too long. You don't realize how petty and bitchy these people are.
Karen. Yeah, Felix is all about free market. I know that.
Well, no, not free market. Free market to a certain extent. There also needs to be something that takes care of those that are not able to get into that. So I'm definitely for all free markets. All that stuff is all yes, but there also needs to be a somewhat of a safety net. So I don't do these things. So I'm in a way, I'm a capitalist, I'm a socialist. Every one of them has something that I like. Every single one has one or two things in it that, if put together, we'd have a good system.
You know what I like about the socialists?
Yeah.
If they have a problem, they just kill them and move on.
Well,
Yeah,
I don't know who's getting killed in Sweden. I don't know who's getting killed in any of the Norwegian countries. I don't know who's getting killed in Holland, or because these are all socialists.
Lenin had too many people. Stalin had too many people. What do we do? Mao had too many.
That's different. Now you're messing up two different things. Now those weren't socialists. That was pure communism at a peak.
Socialism is just communism's little brother.
Socialism has some aspects of communism in it, correct, but it also has some aspects of capitalism in it.
Name one.
And like I said, I'm not a socialist 100%, but there's a few aspects of socialism, all of them. But capitalism on its own isn't good either.
When have we ever had capitalism on its own? Name me a system of government that has created more wealth in this world.
Well, Mr. Sadie, when we say maybe 2% actually needs protection, okay, I mean, we can agree. Anyone with, that was born with a health defect, then can we also add to that maybe single parents that might need help?
No.
You want to add to that?
Single parents, we got this notion in here that these single parents,
No, you didn't understand. See, when I say single parents, I don't mean that, a single. I'm saying what happens. Like, okay, my dad died when when I was 6 years old.
I'm okay with that. Helping your mom out, I'm fine with that. But
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So it's not just about orphans. You've got there are people in society that need help, that would need help.
Rewarding baby mamas for going out and have sex with every Tom, Dick, and Harry. They make kids so their check gets bigger. Man, the hell with that. We got to end that.
Yeah, but I think maybe my wording for single parent was wrong. What I meant by it was, widows and.
Right, because we're most religions, and other Christians, you're commanded to take care of widows and orphans, and
that's the number one thing. That's
100% agree with that.
The number one thing in the Quran in Islam is orphans. Number one.
But our society has torn the family to shreds, and trying to replace the family with government. How do you solve a problem? Oh, what's the government going to do for me? The thinking that we've come up with. That's the problem with socialism. Is that everything becomes about the government and about what everybody else can do for. It takes individual liberty and individual responsibility out of the equation.
Again, my only argument against that would be look at the Scandinavian countries, which are doing really well,
but
they're heavily socialist.
They're a blend, though. They're not true socialists.
They're not a true, but they're majorities. I mean, that's why I pointed them out. They're almost like 80% socialist. They have tax rates in some of them of 60% almost. But yet people are so happy. They always come up in the top 5 happiest countries in the world, and they're paying 60% taxes.
You act like the U.S. is not paying 6% of our money in taxes.
Yeah.
By the time you add them all up, from property taxes, the sales taxes, the income taxes, I want to break wind today. Well, let me go get a permit for that.
And what about the tolls and that
gas tax?
Everything.
It's ridiculous how taxed we are. Lord, let's see what Harlan's got this morning. I better put mute because there's no telling what he sends.
Well, it's about time to shut this puppy down. Save some of the problems for our next show. Scott's going to do a show in the morning, so we'll all be over there. Except I got a dog getting a minor surgery tomorrow, so I may not be able to jump into Scott's show, but anyway. Yeah. I don't need tax. I've got vet bills. What do we got here?
Yeah, we somehow
Scandinavian.
adopted a cat.
You did? Oh, yeah, you did. Felix is awesome. Yeah, we'll see y'all tomorrow over on Scott's channel. Hopefully it's a good show. He doesn't have a topic yet, so it's going to be iffy.
Yeah, it's gonna be terrible. We're just talking about eBay and Amazon. I don't know what yet. I'll probably change the title, but I created the show already.
What'd you put?
eBay and Amazon questions.
You didn't want to do the search word optimization? How to get more people to see your ads, and how to get more people to see your thing by putting more words in, and what words people are searching for, and Google Analytics.
Thank you, Thelma. Thelma's a optimist. Good for her. Yeah, I kind of am too. All right, folks. Later days. Thursday either we'll be on Tom's or my channel again, and
wait, can we get a 10 seconds of silence for what's her name, Diamond and whatever, Silk?
That's awful sad, man. I was shocked when I saw that last night.
What's that?
51 years old.
Silk and Diamond, or Diamond and Silk, the two black lady commentators who really rose to fame, really big Trump supporters, and they last 5 or 6 years. Diamond died last night or yesterday.
Oh, didn't know that.
They say it's because she got corona and she wasn't vaccinated, and she was taking those silver supplements or something.
Yeah, right.
That's what we heard.
Just like the reason why the football player collapsed after the shot. So there you go.
All right, folks. Later days.
Later.